This is not the third world. This is actually London, our capital city. Our once great capital has now been turned into a dump. More and more of these tents are popping up everywhere. This roundabout in particular is one that is allegedly filled with failed asylum seekers living in a makeshift campsite. Michelle Dewberry tweeted this: "Hi Mayor of London and Yvette Cooper. Last summer we reported on the growing number of people living under a roundabout in London. We spoke to them and they told us they were asylum seekers and their claims had been rejected. Here's the roundabout today. This is fairly quiet. Normally it's also packed with food delivery, bikes and many more people too. Look at the state of that. It's an absolute rubbish dump." Let's take a look at the video. Look at that. There's just crap everywhere. Complete mess. I don't want that in my capital city. So there we go. That was the video. And I was thinking, well, if these people had their asylum claims rejected, you know, if they were waiting for their asylum claim to be assessed, they'd be sitting in a nice hotel. If their asylum claim is rejected, they haven't been given any paperwork that allows them to get a job, why aren't they being deported? We can't allow these people who have no right to work, no way to earn an income legally. All they can do is get involved in dodgy gangs, and presumably they don't have the paperwork to rent somewhere either, nor do they have the money. So they just become homeless and end up just living on the streets. Why are these people still in the country? If we reject an asylum claim that says you should not be in this country, we need to get them out of the country. So I decided, you know, this video, this might be a rarity. Let's actually have a look at the stats, okay, of the number of people being deported. And this shocked me. So I had a look at the Migration Observatory, which is a great resource, by the way. They do fantastic in-depth resource on immigration. And they've got this data here on the percentage of refused asylum applications that resulted in a return from the UK, i.e. a deportation. So you see, up to and including 2014, the majority of people who had their asylum applications refused were deported, sent away. But then suddenly there is this sharp drop. What is going on here? 2015 down to 33%. So that means 2/3 of the people who have their asylum applications refused are just still milling about the country if they don't decide to go to go somewhere else by themselves. But then look at how it's just gone down and down and down even further. And the last statistic we have there from 2020, 10%. You might say 2020, you know, lockdown, maybe that could have caused a bit of a change in the figures, but still, 2019, 20%. That is absolutely shocking. So the vast majority of people that come to this country and have their asylum application refused, they're just allowed to stay and mill about and make these makeshift camps that look like rubbish dumps. Why are we allowing our country to be destroyed by this? We talk about the need for strong vetting processes when they are assessing asylum applications. Okay? But I mean, and we definitely need stronger vetting in the applications process to make sure that we are not getting any bad apples coming through, because we've got a bunch of people arriving with no papers. But what even is the point in having strong vetting processes if anybody who you rejects, or the vast majority, can just stay in the country anyway? And those bad apples who you may have rejected the asylum application from, those are the people who are probably maybe got more of a tendency to get involved in gangs and criminal activity. And if you refuse their application, you give them no right to work, yet you don't kick them out the country, well, what do you think they're going to get up to? They're going to get up to drug dealing and all sorts of dodgy stuff to get by. This is just, I am absolutely furious. And then here, take a look. This is enforced return, so people forced to leave the country. And I mean, look at the huge drop there. I mean, absolutely shocking. Look how high it is, 2010 to 2015, and then it just plummets. Why is this happening? Why have we stopped deporting people who aren't meant to be here? I want our country to be a safe country, And I want only people who meet the requirements to be in this country to be here. Why are we letting any Tom, Dick and Harry who can get on a boat stay here? Nobody is kicked out of the country. This is wrong. It's absolutely disgusting. And you can see that from 2021 you then start to see things creeping up slightly, but we're a heck of a long way from where we used to be. We need to get back to where we used to be. I mean, it seems, I don't know if maybe this is because it's easier to engage in lawfare using all sorts of ECHR rules nowadays than it was a decade ago. Maybe that is the case. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a lack of willpower and a lack of resources in our Home Office. This is just absolutely abominable. And you are going to see more and more of these camps appearing that make our country look and feel like the third world. How would you feel if you had to walk past that roundabout late at night as a young woman on the way back from work? I wouldn't feel very safe, that's for sure. We need to have a backbone in this country. It's because of things like this cropping up, our country becoming an absolute mess and going downhill, that the Reform Party are going up and up in the polls, because both Labour and the Tories are not doing anything about it. The Home Office, they're trying to fool us by telling us they've done a load of deportations. Who have they deported? They've deported people who came to this country legally, who had visas but overstayed their visas. A lot of these were people who were working. They've sent them back home voluntarily. They've offered them money to go. They've kicked out the people who were probably last on the list, priority-wise, of people that the British public want to be kicked out of the country. People who have come here illegally and have had their asylum applications fail, they're all still in the country, or the majority are still in the country. Something needs to change. I've had enough of it. Anyway, I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching. See you all next time.